Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Tanuj, and I want to welcome you all to the Tech Placement Bootcamp 2020 that we are organizing on Unacademy and CodeChef. So to give you guys a heads up, we have a 2 day Tech Placement Bootcamp planned for today and tomorrow. That is Saturday and Sunday, and we have classes planned for the whole of the days for today and tomorrow. As you can see on my screen, there are here is a schedule for the 2 days. But first of all, I want to tell you guys the most important thing, that the classes are being streamed only on Unacademy. So if you haven't signed up yet, please go on Unacademy and sign up, and then you would be able to access all of these classes on Unacademy. Okay, so please sign up on Unacademy. I will also show you the links that you should be going at. Like, you can also see the links in the description below. The link is unacademy.cc/placement_bootcamp. Please go on the link, and you can take a look at the exact schedule. Like, we also have a schedule on the right side on my screen right now. You can use the code CodeChef uh, to sign up. Like when you try to sign up, it will ask you for the code, so you can use the code CodeChef. You can also use my name, that is Tanuj Khattar, if you want to sign up. And I just want to let you guys know that we have a very interesting agenda planned. As you can see, like, the welcome note was scheduled for today 11 a.m. And currently there's a class going on the programmer's resume, which explains how should somebody applying for placements prepare their own resume. This is one of the very important topics, because most of like a lot of people struggle with the resume shortlisting process. Like, it is a very opaque process, and there's not much clarity to most people that how can they prepare their resume such that it gets shortlisted for like placement companies and others, like other companies. So we have a session on this, that how you should be preparing a resume and what mistakes to avoid. Then we have a session scheduled on math and probability puzzles for interview preparation. So, like, math and probability is a very sought after topic for interviews, because it helps test your understanding of the fundamentals, and it does not require a lot of prerequisites, because most of the engineering graduates have had some exposure to maths and probability. So a lot of interviewers prefer to ask math and probability questions, especially in the initial rounds, to screen out candidates. And for some companies like quant firms and high frequency trading firms, the math and probability puzzles are very, very important, because a lot of the core work is related to like mathematical modeling and having a good mathematical ability. So we have this session scheduled for 12:30, and we will be covering some interesting problems in this question as well. Then we have a session on live mock interview. In this session, we aim to show an actual how an actual interview is conducted. So there'll be two educators, like one will be taking an interview and other will be giving an interview, and we will show you the common mistakes that students do during an interview, or the things that a interviewer is looking out for when conducting an interview. So I think it should be a very interesting session, and people who are preparing for interviews would have a lot to learn from this session. Like, then we'll have a session on data structures. Like, once again, this is, I think, like a very favorite topic for many interviewers. You might have already seen some very interesting problems on, say, linked lists, heaps, and others, like other fundamental data structures. Like, because data structures is a topic which is core to a computer science background. Therefore, I think it's a very sought after topic for most interviewers. So do check it out. Then we will have a session on the difference between ICPC and interview preparation. So ICPC, as we know, it's a very prestigious competition for college students, and a lot of people tend to think that if they're not able to do well in ICPC, like, they would probably not be able to do well in interviews as well. But we want to highlight that a preparation for ICPC regionals or world finals is very different from how you prepare for interviews. So even if you are not uh, you don't need to prepare for ICPC regionals or world finals or do well in ICPC to be able to do well in interviews. So these are two very different streams, and like, there are also some topics which are important for interviews but not so important for ICPC. So don't miss out on those topics, even if you are doing good at ICPC. Okay. Like after this, like this is the agenda for today. For tomorrow, we have a few more sessions planned for the whole day. First, we have a session on DP, again, like one of the favorite topics in interviews. Like then we'll have a session on understanding the various rounds, which are like understanding the various interview rounds. Like we all know that in interviews for most of the product companies, there are different rounds. Like first they have uh, like a screening round, then a telephonic interview, an on-site interview, and sometimes also a whiteboard round. So we'll understand the various differences and how you can prepare for each of these different rounds. Like then we'll have a session on graph problems which are asked in interview. Graphs, again, a very important topic for computer science undergrads, and like many interviewers like also like this topic a lot, and tend to ask many interesting problems in graphs. So we'll discuss some of those. After that, we'll also take a look at a session on demystifying system design. So a lot of times we tend to think that system design problems require a completely different kind of mindset or practice. And like if even if you're doing good in data structure algorithms or like CP, you might get intimidated by questions on system design. So we want to highlight in this particular lecture, we will show that how using your DSA knowledge, a lot of times you can solve most of the system design problems by only using the fundamental DSA knowledge which you have. So we will be demystifying the system design rounds in this lecture. And then we'll have a lecture on like binary search. Again, a very important and favorite topic, requires very little prerequisites, but some very interesting problems can be asked on this topic. So we'll be discussing some interesting problems on binary search. And then in the end, we'll also explain the difference. We'll also do a comparison of the on-campus and off-campus process. So off-campus process, like applying off-campus to companies, requires more effort, and it is slightly different than the usual on-campus process. And like except for the tier 1 colleges, like a lot of tier 2 and tier 3 colleges have very little on-campus options. So like we'll explain that how you can do well by applying to companies off campus, and what things you should keep in mind uh, like when you follow the process. Okay, so we have some interesting sessions planned for you guys. Do check them out. And once again, like a very important point, that these sessions are being streamed only on Unacademy. So please go and sign up on Unacademy, and you can watch these, like you can watch the sessions which are yet to be scheduled, and the sessions which have already happened, you can also watch them later on, because they'll be recorded and stored on Unacademy. So, okay. And to give you guys a brief heads up on who your educators are, so like these guys are the ones who will be taking up sessions during this tech placement bootcamp. So to introduce myself, I am an undergrad from IIIT Hyderabad, and I am currently working at Google. Like I'll be joining the Google Quantum AI team next month, and I've had prior experience of working at Google, Facebook, and in high frequency trading firms. Similarly, like there are other educators who are like who've had very good experience working at companies, and who also done many internships. For example, like Deepak is from ITBHU. He is currently a software engineer at App Dynamics. He's also done internships at Tower Research, DirectI, etc. Arjuna will be taking a few sessions. He's a great educator. He's done his BSc and MSc from CMI, that is the Chennai Mathematical Institute, and he's also currently the learning team lead at CodeChef. So he's the one who's driving a lot of these efforts of uh, the whole classes and events that we are having on Unacademy. And he's been a coach for the Indian IOI team for I think more than like 4 or 5 years. So like he has a very good experience in teaching, and like he's also a great competitive programmer as well as a problem solver. Okay. Next, we also have Sanket. Like Sanket did his BTech from IP University in Delhi. He's currently a software engineer at LinkedIn, and he's also been a software engineer at InterviewBit in the past. He's also done projects like GSOC. So Sanket also has a lot of experience applying to different companies and like applying, like doing a lot of off-campus placements and doing a lot of projects during his college. For example, he's done GSOC, which is like one of the most reputed open source projects out there. This is the Google Summer of Code for some of you who don't know. And yeah, next is Ria. Ria like did her BTech from Delhi University. She's currently a software engineer at Flipkart, and she's also been a software engineer at InterviewBit. Like she also had a lot of experience doing different kinds of projects and getting involved in a lot of different events. Like she's been a Google Women's Techmaker scholar 2018. Uh, yeah. Next we have Pulkit. Pulkit is also currently doing his BTech from DTU, like Delhi University. He's done internships at CodeChef and HackerRank, and he's also an educator at an academy while still being at college, like while still being in college. So, like we have a panel of educators who come from very different backgrounds and who will be able to give you some insights based on their experience. So I'm sure that many of you will have something to take away from these sessions. Yeah, some of you are also asking questions. I think like if you have some questions, you can ask me in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer. Also, like these are the important links which I've been talking about. You can find the exact schedule of the placement bootcamp on the CodeChef website and also on the Unacademy landing page. The most important things I want to stress again that all classes will be streamed on Unacademy, so please sign up. But also note that you only need to sign up on Unacademy. Like you only need to create an account. You don't need to pay anything. The event is free of cost. Okay, so don't think that this is a paid event or a paid promotion. Like this is a free of cost event that we are doing so that the whole community can benefit from it, and you can attend the whole boot camp for free. It's a 2-day camp with many interesting classes, and if you want to watch the lectures, you just need to go on an academy on this link and sign up. Like that's all you need to do to be able to watch all these lectures. Like all these lectures are live sessions. You can ask your doubts to the educators who are taking these sessions. You can ask your questions and they'll be happy to answer. Okay, you can use the CodeChef to sign up. You can also use my name to sign up if you want to, which is Tanuj Khattar. Okay, so please go and check out these important links and take part in the bootcamp. Like I'm sure that it will be beneficial for a lot of students who are currently in college, and for many people who are currently working but are looking to change their job. Okay. If you guys have any questions, yes, the sessions do contain coding questions, of course. Like as I mentioned earlier, uh, like as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these sessions, if you look in the agenda, a lot of these sessions are sessions where we will be discussing interview problems. These interview problems are basically problems which have been asked in interviews uh, earlier, and they are coding questions. Like we will be discussing these questions and their answers, and we'll also discuss how you can approach these questions in general. And all of this is free of cost. All you need to do is go on an academy and just start watching these lectures. If you already have an account on an academy, that's great. Just sign in and just sign in and start watching the questions. Okay, the link, as you can see, is unacademy.cc/placement_bootcamp. It should be there in the descriptions of most of the places where this class is being streamed right now. unacademy.cc/placement_bootcamp. Okay, you can go here, sign up if you don't have an account. If you already have an account, sign in on an academy and start watching the lectures. Okay, so again, like this is the panel of educators who will be taking the lectures. You can ask your doubts to any of the educators and they'll be happy to answer. Okay, again, the important links, please go and visit unacademy.cc/placement_bootcamp. So in the time which is remaining, I will quickly share some career tips which I think are very important both for short term and for long term. So in the short term, I would say that the most important thing which most people look out for is a get things done attitude. Okay, this is the most important attitude according to me. Like this is the most important thing which managers look out for while hiring candidates, which companies look out for, because most of the times you would not be knowing a lot of things when you join a company. So like when you join a company, a team, most of the things which are required to get your work done are something that you have to learn once you join the company. And it's not something which you would already know. Okay, so if you have an attitude where you can get things done, you can learn new things quickly, and like make sure that you deliver, then I think it is the most important thing. And a lot of times, like we tend to think that, okay, I'm not good in say backend programming, I'm not good in web development, so, or I don't like web development, or I don't like this, I don't like that. I would say get over this kind of attitude. Like this is not going to help you in the short term. Do what is needed, like learn new things, and just get things done. Okay, if you need to create that web application, if you need to write that backend uh, like application, if you need to do the interview preparation and learn computer programming or learn algorithms, just go and do it. Like there is no excuse. Don't think of excuses, don't think about uh, like reasons to hold you back. Okay, most of these things are not hard. Most of these things are something where if you spend enough time, you will get good at it, trust me. But a lot of times, like we miss out on opportunities only because of our fear of failing. Okay, so we need to overcome the fear of failing, and we need to try out as many things as possible. So like a lot of times we would not even like send out an application to a company because we think that the company won't hire us, or like our resume might not be good enough, or like we won't reach out to people on LinkedIn or on other places because we think that, okay, I might look like a fool if I do this. Do not like create glass ceilings for yourself. Okay, reach out to people, overcome your fear, and try out different things. Even if you fail, even if you don't do good, only once you try out the different things, you will eventually hit a thing like where you do well, and like where you actually succeed. So for short term, have an attitude of getting things done, overcome your fear of failing, and try out as many things as possible. I think these are the two tips I would give to anybody who is planning a career for short term and wants to do well in the short term. Okay, but in the long term, I would say that it is also very important to make sure that you understand that the highest paying job right now might not be the most suitable job for you in the long term. Okay, there's a reason we say in computer programming that greedy strategy is not always the best strategy, because a lot of times we tend to just keep switching companies or keep switching jobs because another job is paying us better. Again, I would like to stress on the fact that it is very, very important to be financially stable. It is very, very important to get a placement or get a company which pays you well. I'm not at all saying that money does not matter, it does. Okay, but in the short term, do try to ensure that you get to a point where your salary is good. Like how do you define the word good, it can be very subjective to everybody, but beyond a certain point, I would say that don't keep optimizing for just salary for forever. Okay, in the long term, you also need to think about what kind of works motivates you, what kind of person you would like to be, who are your idols, and where would you want to be in the next few years. Okay, a lot of times, like it is taken as a stupid question that how that where would you like to see in 5 or 10 years, but I think it is important to introspect and think about it yourself, because it would help you choose the right job or the right career path. Okay, and the way I like to imagine this situation or this analogy is that every domain or every field is like a mountain. Okay, every field is like a mountain, and each of these mountains, uh, like in the starting of the career, or like while you are in college, you are basically standing at the base of these mountains. So you are standing somewhere at the base of these mountains. Like this mountain could be, say, a product manager, or a company where you are doing software engineering as a product manager. So you want to build your own company, or you want to build your own product. Okay, so that can be one domain. Another domain could be that you want to do a research, like a research based career. Like you want to do a PhD, you want to go for higher studies, you want to become a professor or a researcher, or any such thing. Okay, so similarly, like every domain that you can think of, every career that you can think of, I like to imagine it as a mountain. And in the beginning of the careers, we end up starting at the bottom of these mountains. So the important point for long term is to choose the right mountain. And once you choose the right mountain for yourself and you spend enough time working towards the top, you will eventually reach to a point that you are financially stable, you are doing well financially, you have, and you are basically near the top of the mountain. So in some years, if you keep doing well and if you keep putting in effort, you will reach the top of the mountain. But it is also important to choose the correct mountain in the beginning, because every time you switch, like suppose you want to go from, like suppose you do a job for 2 3 years and then switch to an MS and then want to go for a PhD, you are basically switching the mountains. And every time you switch a mountain, you are basically starting near the bottom. So again, the journey starts. And the longer you keep working towards a single goal, the faster it gets that you reach the top. Okay. Of course, there'll be like cases where people have reached the top much faster, or it might take you slightly longer to reach the top, depending on where you start. But the important point is that you should also give a lot of thought on choosing the correct mountain, which is choosing the correct field for you in the long term. That what kind of job motivates you, what kind of role do you want to be in, and who your idols are. Okay, so these are, I think, some questions which deserve a lot of time and thought during the early stages of your career when you are planning that which field you should choose or which domain you should choose. Okay, so this is like these are some tips from my side. Apart from this, like you should also go and check out the Learn CP initiative by CodeChef. So like CodeChef and Unacademy are like have started the Learn CP initiative, where we are teaching like computer programming, interview preparation, and like in general data structures and algorithms to students. And the educators are some of the best programmers from the country. You should go and check it out. And you can use like code for sign up and like for sign up and subscription discounts if you want to. But I would like to stress that we have batches which are starting. We already have a beginner and an intermediate batch which is currently going on. You can still join these batches and continue. And like they were launched this month only, so like you would have missed very few sessions so far. And like there are also a lot of free classes which we have taken on YouTube on Unacademy. So if you sign up on Unacademy, you would also be able to watch these free classes. If you don't want to pay, you can watch these free classes for a while and see whether you like the content, whether it's helping you. And if you want to have a structured learning path, you can join these batches and opt for the plus subscription as well. Okay. So in the end, I would like to say that all the very best to everybody. Like do take part in this 2 day camp. I'm sure that it will be beneficial for a lot of you. Uh, if you have any questions, you can reach out to the educators. Like you can reach out to us. And again, like all the links are there in the slides. All the links are there in the videos. Go check out the links. Like there are some questions in the comments. Maybe now in the remaining 5 minutes, like I can take some questions as well. Okay. So Souvik is asking whether like 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours. So Souvik, I think you should spend as much time as you need on a topic or an interview preparation. But like there's no single answer on how much time like you should spend. I think you should uh, compare your performance improvement, and rather than like how much time you need to spend, you should see that how much you are improving each day. Okay. Apart from this, so some people are asking that it is worth doing MS in software engineering from US and settle there. I think Ayush, this is a very broad question. Like there's no one answer fits all. Okay. If you want to learn more in a particular field, if you want to get to US, like doing MS is the most common path of getting to US. But I would like to stress on it that there are also many visa related complications in terms of settling in the US for the long term by only trying to do an MS and going there. So I think you should do your research before you take any decision. There are many good resources online that you should take a look at, but don't blindly follow anybody, or don't blindly follow a trend that if you want a well settled life, you should do an MS and go to US, because it involves many factors like taking huge loans, and depending on which college you do your MS from, like whether you get a good job or not, and other long-term complications. If you're in college, how can you choose the best career? You should explore the different domains. You should see which uh, domain is something which suits you the most. Like, what is the kind of work that you would be uh, you would be enjoying the most. And then the most important thing I would say is that whatever you decide, even if you don't find that perfect domain which you are enjoying, whatever you do it sincerely. So make sure that you are sincere and you are honest to yourself. If you are trying an area, if you're learning a new topic, if you're trying a project, do those things sincerely, be honest to yourself, and I think that should be enough to give you a taste of all the different things that you try out. Okay, no, career does not mean in terms of job. Apart from the job also, I think, like, even if you want to do MS, even if you want to start a company, I think the general tips are valid for all these things. But I think this particular placement, the other lectures are mostly focused on jobs. Yes, you can watch the lectures later, definitely. So CLRS book is good for reference, I would say, but it's also a very dense book. Not everybody can go through the whole book uh, quickly. So CLRS is a great book, but again, it's a very dense book. So uh, it would not be a perfect starting point for beginners, but you should definitely try to read it if you want to learn data structures. Okay. So, like, what's the fees for placement bootcamp? The placement bootcamp is completely free. There is no fees. All you need to do is go on the Unacademy platform and start watching the lectures. The lectures are happening right now. I've given the schedule in this talk. You can also find the schedule on the Unacademy landing page. The link is given to you. Okay. Yeah. So I think I have uh, answered most of the questions. I think we can wrap up now. If anybody has some final questions, you can ask me now. It is possible to create projects in every language. Like, companies all over the world are using all the languages. Like, there's no particular language that you should prefer, but you can try out different languages and see which one do you like. If you like C++, it is possible to make projects in C++. If you prefer Python or JavaScript, sure, go ahead and try to create projects in that language. So every language is suited for different purposes, and also many languages can be used for different purposes. So I would say that don't restrict yourself to one particular language, but focus on what kind of project you want to build, and then think about the language, rather than thinking the language first and then like thinking the project later on. Okay. Yes, projects I think are important. Like, you should attend the lecture by Sanket on how to create your resume. He will give you some more idea on how to create the resume. Okay. Okay. I think we are running out of time. So I would like to wrap up now. Like, you can also ask these questions to the other educators which are taking specific lectures. Like, go and attend the lectures, and on an academy you can also ask live questions and like get an answer from the educators. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody, for your time. I would like to wrap up now, and all the very best, and hope you all do very well. Okay. Thank you.